Hi, this is Sarah, and today I'm going to talk to you about managing your workflow in Seesaw. Whether you have one Seesaw class and you're a classroom teacher, or whether you are a co-teacher in multiple classes, you will find that you have a lot to look at in Seesaw. You might have messages in your inbox, responses to announcements to families. You may have journal posts and activity responses in multiple subjects, and today, I just want to talk to you a little bit about ways to help manage that flow of information. There are several things that you can do to help manage your workflow in Seesaw. Using activities and folders are extremely helpful. I also recommend liking and commenting on items during the review process and before you approve them. So one item at a time, you will look at it, like it, and make comments and then approve it. Don't approve all and then go back and try to make comments. It becomes overwhelming trying to find the items that you need to comment on. I also recommend using the calendar view, and I'm going to link to another video alongside this video because Seesaw has made a great, concise video about using calendars, and I recommend watching that as well. I'm in my class. I see here that I have 4 unapproved posts, and I could click review. I can look through here and I can see that I have responses that are for Project Lead the Way, and I have a random post that a student made that is just a drawing of their dog. If I want to only look at the things that are Project Lead the Way, I'm going to start by clicking on review. And then once it says unapproved items, I can click on the folder and I can choose to just look at the Project Lead the Way items. So then I see that I only have 3 items and I could review and approve them from here. But if I know that everything is coming in response to one activity, the other thing I can do is click on the activity name, or the other way to go about doing that is to click on activities, and I can see that I have 3 responses waiting for approval. I can click review here, and I intentionally made this only a few students so that you would see what it looks like when it's full, because what I can do is either approve all, or I can click each one and I can press play and watch the animation, and then at this point, I can comment to my students, like how all the dogs move together. And again, I recommend liking and commenting before you approve. Then you don't have to go back and find it later. And if I'm in an activity and I know that I have the activity pretty well stacked up with items to respond, I can click this button and I can do the same thing. And then I could make the comment to this student and approve it after I listen to it, of course. And I just want to remind you one more time that when you comment, you can do a voice recorded comment. I like how you made it look like Harry the Dirty Dog was digging up dirt in the backyard. Very nice job. And when you leave a voice recorded comment for your students, it may be a little bit easier for them to read, especially when it's one of your younger students or a student who struggles with reading, and then you could approve it at this point. So that's the best way to manage workflow, is by using folders, using activities, and now all of my items are approved that are related to that activity and that are related to Harry the Dirty Dog. I do have this one here. The student has drawn a picture. This isn't in response to anything, but I tend to approve these when students send them, unless they send many, many a day. I like them to have some ownership over their own portfolio. And one other thing that I want to quickly remind you is, if you're using activities, make sure that you go in and archive your activities every once in a while, and make sure that you delete old activities if nobody responded to them. So this one has a draft response. This one has 0 responses, so I can delete this one from my feed. And this one is from back in March. I had 2 responses. I'm going to go ahead and archive this activity. This will make it less overwhelming when students sign in the next time. They won't have so many unfinished activities that they need to respond to. So I'm going to stop there. I will leave this one open, and I will leave this one open as well. And even though I archived some of those activities, Just as a reminder, the responses that your students already made to those activities are still in their journals. They're still visible to the students and to the families who are connected. So you're not deleting any responses by archiving activities, but it does help to clean up your work area. One last side thought is that if you find yourself using the same comments over and over again, you could create a bank of comments that you choose from and maybe keep them in a spreadsheet or something. But you might find that as you're trying to give custom feedback to your students, that is not necessarily helpful. Just a thought, something you could consider. By following these tips, it will help with your workflow.